adapted it to suit what it is that they do. So it's got reggae undertones or overtones to it, and a huge influence in the music scene here.
Yes, and of course, speaking about reggae, we have to give credit where it started. And of course, most of us probably know, I don't know that, because of the blues from the South.
Is that where it all came from?
That's where it came from.
See, I didn't know.
Roscoe Gordon. Yeah, Roscoe Gordon. He was at Sun Studio with Elvis as a piano player. And when he played the piano, he would like, going home tomorrow, the way he stroked the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And it was different. So as a young man in Jamaica, Montego Bay and the North Coast, we would get music from the United States.
That's right, I heard that.
The ships that came in from Louisiana with goods and everything for trading, they would bring the 78 music. If you drop one of those 78, they would break.
Yeah, like
you know,
30 pieces.
Yeah, so guys like Fats Domino, Smiley Loose, Joe Turner, all of that stuff, we accepted in Jamaica with the sound people. We call them DJ, but they were sound system. So they played those blues, and then those sound DJs in Jamaica, they start competing with each other, beating up on each other. So they did not have enough of that blues, so they started make their own music now. And this is where Studio One came in, Cox and Duke Reed. So they decided to play their own music with the influence of the blues from the United States. So they go, well, I feel so good, I've got a boogie in my bone. Yeah. And then they went on to ska. That was ska with a faster tempo. Then they slowed it down. Girl, I've got a date, and I just can't stand being late. Rocksteady that was.
Yeah.
Then they slow it down
More so
to reggae. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. And that's reggae. That's where we at today.
Where did the skank part? Where did the skank?
Well, as you know, with reggae, the two components that belongs to Jamaica is the bass and the drum, the brain and the heart.
That's right.
So while on that journey, then they started to experiment. You know, the skank is a... but then guys like Sly and Robbie and other guys, they started putting their own little...
Ernest Ranglin.
Ernest Ranglin.
With the guitar.
Yes. Lynn Tate. You know, they start to put in their own little creation along the way.
I didn't know that. That's a fascinating history. Though.
What's great is if you hear some of these records from the 50s and 60s, you could swear that these artists are the same as Otis Redding. The singing is still very gospel church orientated, very rough in singing, but very soulful.
Yeah.
But it's got the ska and it's got this new thing that happened during that period.
Yes. For example, now you go back to I'll Take You There. I know a place. That's where the link came from. Staple Singers with Alton Ellis in Jamaica. It's such a connection with all the music.
It's really incredible because when you think about it, the way the music flows across borders and across cultures and intermingles and produces something else and changes the way things have been going and the way things are in directions of music. It's really quite fascinating to watch.
It all melts.
You know, to study that. You know, to be a student of music, to understand where that all comes from, where it all went to, and how it got to where it is.
Well, you get things like Louis Gottschalk from New Orleans, 1845. He goes to Brazil, and he's a legit concert pianist, but Creole. He goes to Brazil, picks up the second line music, that the drums are playing. Then he goes to Cuba, and he picks up the rhythms in Cuba. He comes back here and starts writing, And if you hear some of his first music, it sounds like the beginning of ragtime.
That's right.
Right. You hear this in the 1840, 1850, and his orchestral pieces. There are some that have hints of them, syncopations. And then you see as things progress by the early 1900s how effective and influential these bits of rhythmic changes and things become.
You can hear it with the Scott Joplin stuff. You can hear a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
the turn
U.B.
of the
Blake
century.
later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your latest CD?
Yes,
Lover's Paradise.
that's right.
And on this, you do a version of Leonard Cohen's classic Hallelujah.
That's right.
We're going to listen to that when we come back after our break.
Good.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Was that a big challenge for you, considering it's been done by so many people and it's become such a popular tune?
Yeah, it was a challenge which I welcome, and of course, it's the most covered song in the world today.
Yeah.
And
Canadian.
Let's get that in.
Yeah, damn right.
And you know where he's coming from those days.
Yeah.
So it was quite a unique challenge because I'm the first, they said, to attempt covering it in reggae.
Whoa.
So what was so beautiful about it is having the bed tracks laid in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, with the Fab Five band, and then bringing it to Canada, which is home for me, and finished it, giving it the Canadian touch.
There you go. We're going to hear that when we come back. Jay Douglas from the CD Lover's Paradise.